it's me again. So, it's about 10 o'clock in the morning. Today is November 1st, 2023. So, I really have to address the whole thing here, as far as that goes, with what I refer to as like my two J's at this point, especially with J2, as far as that goes. And it was just about a month ago when it should hit the fan at this point, you know. But then I realized, like, you know, maybe I don't really want him back, you know. And here I was trying to do like a manifesting to make him, you know, go off with somebody else at that point. And I was committed to that. But then halfway through last month was when I realized, you know, I don't really want him to go away completely. I want him still be in my life, you know, because the fact that I known of him for like 15, maybe 16 years, and it was just simply the fact that I never thought that I could have him and be with him. It's just that I just didn't want to be with him like right now. I wanted to be with him someday. It's just simply what he was going through recently when it came to the loss of his late husband. You know, as far as that goes. But now that the circumstances has changed, you know, with the loss of his roommate that he had, a friends with benefits type relationship, with all of a sudden, and now it's like he's all alone, you know, as far as trying to make nice with his late husband's family, you know, when it comes to, you know, sharing the earn, you know, and it's just so much for him to take. Because it was one of the reasons why I had to step away from him for a while, and I didn't mean to cause that kind of rift at this point. But I just wanted him to know that I'm still here for him in some capacity. And I'm still here for him now. If, if somehow he needs me, if he needs me more than a friend, if he needs, you know, whatever part of me that he needs me for, if he, you know, if he needs my heart for that, or if he needs my body, you know, just to like wrap his arms around and, you know, make love to me, that sort of thing. Because I'm open to do that sort of thing with him. And he truly wants that and desires that deep down. Because when you manifest someone for love, it only works if that person has that conscious desire to to have that at that point. And, and it's basically his choice to be, you know, enamored with me. Because there was a hint of attraction at that point. I mean, not attraction, I mean chemistry. When it came, and when he was asking me about, you know, something corporate or hourly piece, because he's interested in getting to know me, you know, in, you know, Daria, you know, when I was doing like the green, the green heart emoji, you know, on one of his videos, and during that one live stream, Chris did like, you know, pop, six, squish, lipshit, Cicero, lipshit. And he was like, what it was, and it was like, Cell Block Tango. And he was like, oh. Because they did Cell Block Tango on Glee because Glee was like his favorite shows. And the fact that it's like the only music he practically listens to. Because it is a safe space. You know. And then I told him, Arlie Peace is my safe space. You know. So it's like something corporate, garbage, Alanis Morissette, Sarah McLachlan. Yeah. And it's just one of those things there that it's starting to feel that more I feel confident within myself, and a lot of times I don't always show that confidence within me, but I feel confident enough that J2 and J1 and any of these other guys at that point that wanted me, you know, even if they just wanted to hook up with me, and that's it, you know, considering all of that, you know, I'm starting to feel in that space or whatever they call it, where I'm becoming more confident, where it's gonna show a lot, and you know, but I was kind of been wondering, do I really need the whole therapy after all at that point because of how it took so long to get therapy and all this sort of stuff there, you know, taking like a month here, but that was just because of how there are other people that needed therapy more because of the whole bug and all this sort of stuff there. It's just I can't really take precedent over other people, you know. But I'm gonna go to a different topic at this point. And then the other thing was just the whole thing with the keratoconus, you know, especially with my left eye. I think I'm at that point where something has to be done when it comes to my eye if I ever really want to see clearly out of that eye. and I don't really want to be stuck, you know, you know, looking at just my left, just my right eye at this point. And I spent 11 years, you know, and that was basically my 30s, you know, of all it was just taking all of these sort of, you know, eye drops there and some other additional things to lower the corneal pressure and all of this. And still, my eye is still the same, or it's just gotten worse at this point. So, you know, so I don't know. I feel like I have to have the surgical options eventually because that's just the, the inevitability of it. The inevitability that I'm going to have the corneal transplant. You know, the thing was with one of my aunts who already had the corneal transplant, it was okay if it is. I mean, it's just mom was just dragging her feet, you know, about the cost or the fact that I can't really. I could try, you know, but it just requires a lot more for me to be able to put myself in a better order of importance, priority of that sort. Because every time I try to place myself on a higher priority or matter of importance in my life, someone's going to go around and call me selfish, call me ungrateful, do the guilt trips, do the whole classic manipulations and whatnot, you know. And, you know, and here it's like, I mean, coming from somebody that I should trust because of the familial connections and, or the obligation of the professional relationships or some sort. And I have really neglected myself, you know, the first couple years of my adult life that I really neglected myself because of having to appease certain people, but there were just certain people that they're just insatiable and in that sense, but also controlling to the point where they would only be satiated if I gave up everything of myself, including my name that was given, that including my orientation, everything of that sort, just to satiate someone like that. And that person was like the guy at the head of the adult transition program, the liaison guy. Some of these people in the Department of Rehabilitation, that psychiatrist Dr. Solomon, you know, Ellie and Wanda, the two so-called social workers of that sort, the Dr. what was his name there that I saw there? It's like to my teenage and teenage self, it's just that these people weren't really there to help me. They just wanted to change me into something that what they deem as acceptable of me, and that is just a person that they can control. And I just did not want that. I want just to be me, just to be me. That I don't go around trying to change them for who they weren't. Because their personality and all that has long been established and, set in and all. But for me at that point, I was already at that, the wet clay phase, and where it's now starting to harden. Whatever things that happen are already going to start to set in, and I did not really want other people to mess me up, because then it's just have to go for like whatever extensive type of therapy that can fix whatever like the other underlying issues at that point. And I never really gotten that far off to have that type of therapy that where it could fix like the more deeper underlying issues at that point, because it's just whatever, it's just the time or money and all of that, and but that was just the other aspect of it at this point. You know what I mean? But I think that the choice is mine at this point, that whether or not I can still continue on with the therapy with that one particular therapist, or just, get a second opinion, to have someone have like a completely different approach, but still have like the same area of expertise as far as that goes. And that's just really what I truly want to accomplish, is just to have like maybe like a multi-pronged approach to my therapy of that sort, instead of just, coming in at all one angle and one perspective, So that's just what I'm really trying to get here, is that whichever thing that could work, but sometimes it's like, having like the different perspectives and where they can work hand in hand can also work better, as far as that goes. So, anyways, I guess that's it. So, talk to you guys later. Hey people, it's me again. So, anyways, I'm just out here, resting at the lookout point. So, it's just this open area that you can see out to the city, that's kind of in between one of the streets that leads to my house and another street that kind of leads to a different neighborhood at this point. So, at one point where I was talking about my manifesting journey, at this point, so what happened was, here there was like another sign, or what they call the synchronicity, and that happened with like the first guy that I manifested at this point. And so he was the one I refer to as now like J1, or I would refer to him as the guy from Finland, or my neue Freund, or my new friend, previously at this point. So, considering all of that, that guy, he's been divorced for a little bit more than 2.5 years at this point. And so that was kind of one of the reasons why, you know, I had to take things slow at that point there, and you know, but I think with my relationship with him, you know, is slowly developing the sense, but to, to tell the truth, it's just that I'm not sure if it's gonna last for a long time because one of the things that he first told me was like he was waiting for his green card for at least 2 or 3 years, and so I don't know what visa he's under on at this point, and so that's just another thing. But the other problem there was just simply that he's allergic to cats and dogs to a certain extent at that point. And so the fact that I'm still Miss Garfy, and the fact that I kind of do want to have another cat eventually, that's just the other problem of that sort. You know, but then when it comes to like his living situation of that sort, it's just that he just rents a room, and his landlord would not allow him to have guests, and so even if it does like progress a bit further, like the only time, you know, or the only place that I can never, you know, get intimate with him is at my place, you know. So that was kind of like the thing. If I want to, you know, get in with him at this point, I have to kind of at least not only I introduce him to mom, I have to introduce him to my brothers at this point, you know, so that way he can stop by at the house anytime he wants to, and we can do our thing, be quiet as church mice, as far as that goes, you know. But the reason I was thinking of him there was just there was this one guy that lived in the neighborhood, you know, that was wearing that cycling attire that people from here would normally wear, you know, where they would wear the bright colors, as far as that goes, because when I met J1, he was kind of wearing those kind of bright colors like that, you know. So that was just the other thing at this point, that, you know, I still have that sort of thing with him, you know, as well as like the second J at this point, you know, eventually, because honestly, I don't really want to decide between both of them at this point. If I'm gonna enter a more than just a friendship with either one of them, you know, at this point, yeah. So that is just pretty much why I said that sort of thing about being poly and all that. I wanted to have open relationships because I felt like it was more better for me not to be tied down to just one guy, you know, because I feel like I just want to experience a lot more when it comes to that, and experience a lot of other things when it comes to certain guys, you know, as far as that goes. So anyways, I think when it comes to this, I think I was just being a bit strategic about all that. And, you know, if anybody was like into the astrology of that sort, because J1 is a Sagittarius, J2 is an Aquarius, and I'm a Gemini, and so there's like this magnetic attraction with me and G1 because that's just how it is. And then G2 is more like an Aquarius is like cut from the same cloth as a Gemini because it's like they're kind of like the middle of like the air. They're like the very end of the air signs. I'm like the very beginning of the air signs. You know, Libras are like smack dab in the middle as far as that goes. So, considering all of that, I think that's just one of the things that I wanted to talk about here. But it's one of the things I said before that I don't really have to be emotionally and mentally like invested in either one of them or both of them at this point. I can just, forget all about that and pursue somebody else if I choose to, because I have plenty of options of other guys that I could probably form a relationship with, but considering all of that, since I want things to develop a little bit more at a slower pace, but it's probably going to be a whole lot more rewarding in the end when it comes to either one of them or both of them at that point. Yeah. And the fact is, I feel more confident in myself. And I feel happy that, that I can get have two soulmates if that's really what it is going to come to be at this point. Because most people usually get one at a time, but others they could get two at a time, or 3 or 4 or whatever, and that's just perfectly fine with them. In that case, it's just simply, as long as, have this type of relationship with trust, respect, and all that jazz, then that's all that is to it. Because I think for me, I needed to have that sort of thing in my life, where I can be with a guy that my relationship with them is going to last a long time. I mean, not really talking about like a couple of months or a year. I want it to last a really long time, I suppose. And that's just where I want to be with both of those guys. Because I'm only going to be alive for maybe in another 40 or 50 years if I play my cards right. And I feel like I want to make the best out of everything, because of, 3 years we're going to have to like leave and sell the house at some point, and I don't really want to be just stuck living with just mom and my 2 brothers or something like that, or I do kind of want to be on my own, but away from mom and my brothers at some point, but I think the best way to work is if I had someone there that will love me and take care of me. That's kind of like the real goal of all of it. With either one of those guys, is that they can do that for me. So anyways, I guess that's probably it. So talk to you guys later.